What better way to help kick off this year's festival than with a few words by our incredibly dedicated board member, Stan Pierre-Louis. Stan is also the president and chief executive officer of the Entertainment Software Association. If you're not familiar with the ESA, they are the leading voice and advocate for the $43.4 billion U.S. video game industry. With more than 2 decades of entertainment and media experience, Stan leads the ESA's public policy efforts to showcase the dynamic impact the video game industry has on business, entertainment, and culture. Stan and the ESA has been a supporter of Games for Change for years and is a major sponsor of the festival. It is through generous support from the ESA and our other generous sponsors that we are able to offer this virtual festival free for all of our attendees. Please join me in welcoming Stan Pierre-Louis to the stage. Hello,
Susanna.
Stan.
So good to see you. And let me just start. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say welcome to our stage.
Let's make this one of these crazy Zoom calls where we keep interrupting each other. No.
Well, listen, I want to thank you and everyone at the ESA for supporting us this year at the festival. And thank you for joining us here this morning on our very first day.
Well, thank you. And let me start by congratulating you and the team at Games for Change for making this festival available again the second in a row. If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's really that there's a lot of good in games. And this festival is second to none in highlighting that fact. So if we can't be together, if we can't be together in person to celebrate games, what better place than the Games for Change Festival online? So thank you, and thank you for the community of players, innovators, and creators who are joining us and will be participating in this festival for the next few days.
Oh, thank you. It really means a great deal to me personally and to the community to have you support this event. So I'm going to actually step out of the frame for a second. I'd love the audience. I'm sure everyone would like to hear your opening remarks. And I want to thank you again for joining us and supporting us today.
Thank you. And to everyone out there, we're really excited about this festival. We have been for years. And for those of you who've been there in person, you know how exciting an opportunity it is for us to convene and to exchange information, to network, but really to learn and enjoy games. As Susanna mentioned, the ESA is the voice and advocate for the US video game industry. And what that means is that we spend a lot of time meeting with government officials, sharing stories with the press, and connecting with the public about what our mission is and to champion and promote games and the positive impact it has on people, culture, and the economy. As Susanna also mentioned, games are transforming the way we interact, the way we learn, the way we connect, the way we play, and everyone is playing. In fact, today, more than 3 billion people in the world are playing. That's 1 in 3 people around the planet. And video games have really established themselves to be the premier form of entertainment for people of all ages. You know, for example, recent data from IDC show that the global video game revenue surged 20% in 2020 to $180 billion, making our industry bigger than the global film industry and North American sports industry combined. But beyond the numbers, video games have proven effective in breaking down barriers and connecting people of all races, backgrounds, and cultures through play and interactivity. Video games, they immerse us in the universal joy of play unlike any other medium. And that joy is open to all. When we play, our differences are irrelevant. When we play, we can explore new worlds, discover history, solve challenges, and most importantly, have fun. You know, the BBC had a segment recently on video games, and they said something that I really like to quote, which is that gamers have known for a long time something that everyone else is just figuring out. There is community and connection on the other side of the screen. And in fact, video games have become a social lifeline, and many have found it as a new outlet for much needed connection during this period of social isolation. You know, study after study have shown the positive impact games have had on people who play them, including with children and parents who play with children. And during COVID-19, players from around the world turned to video games to keep in touch with friends and family. I know that was certainly true in our household, not just for me, but for my child and his cousins. And in fact, a recent study out of the Oxford Internet Institute showed that playing games can have a positive impact on our mental well-being. And that study was really using real-world data from companies monitoring, working with players. And so it just shows the impact that games can have in real-world experiences. We've also seen the evolving role of games beyond entertainment. Education and healthcare are among the various industries that are being inspired to innovate through video games. For example, video games are being used for physical therapy treatments and even being prescribed for ADHD with the approval of the US Food and Drug Administration. We also recognize how video games can inspire the 21st century workforce as a bridge to STEAM and STEM education. Learning game-making skills creates career opportunities in a broad array of STEAM fields because video games really require skills that are highly desired in adjacent fields like aerospace, coding, and more. In essence, games can serve as a gateway to educational advancement and a wide array of career paths. Before I conclude these opening remarks, I'd be remiss if I'd not speak about the importance of ensuring that video games are reflective of the people, cultures, and lifestyles who play games today. As an industry, we have an obligation to open doors and create opportunities for underserved and underrepresented communities to prepare tomorrow's creators and innovators for a workplace that reflects our values and expectations for an inclusive society. To make progress, we must deliberately and intentionally make diversity, equity, and inclusion a priority at every level, from our work environments to the online worlds we create and inhabit. As game designers help create the building blocks for tomorrow's games, we each have responsibility to build equity into those ecosystems, both in the games and in the game-making environments and studios. At the ESA, we believe that sustained, actionable investments and partnerships open doors for these types of opportunities. That's why we've partnered with Black Girls Code to invest in the next generation of creators and innovators. We've also partnered with nonprofit groups that seek to advance Black, Latinx, and AAPI community members into public policy roles that will shape advocacy for our industry. These efforts supplement the fine work of the ESA Foundation, which awards scholarships to women, diverse, and LGBTQ students planning to change the world of games. As our industry continues to evolve, I'm eager to partner with and listen to our community of players and creators to develop more opportunities to expand inclusion in our industry. Let's continue to challenge ourselves and each other. Thank you, and my congratulations again to Susan and the team at Games for Change for bringing us all together at this year's festival.